Good morning, everybody. It is meteorologist Age Weather Forecast back with another weather update, guys. So this is going to be an update on the severe weather for parts of the plains stretching to the southeast and the south central. We're going to have a lot of strong bands starting today, and actually it's going to be a multi-day threat and going to tomorrow too. So guys, if you guys want to know the impacts, like when to expect the storms to go in your area, how strong will they be, and also just the general impacts, that'll all be coming right up. Alright guys, so this is my own forecast, so that's why my video came out a little bit later today. It's with the National Weather, the Storm Prediction Center, and also my opinion. It's also my forecast kind of too. So it's 50-50, and it's most of it, I mainly agreed with the Storm Prediction Center. So this is what my forecast is showing. And I did tell you guys in the last video I'll be making my own forecast, and here is one. I want to explain one thing very quick to you guys, actually, really quick. So the 0 is a general risk. If you see down there on the severe weather risk, the 1 is the marginal, the 2 is the slight, the 3 is the enhanced, the 4 is the moderate, and the 5 is the high. So guys, so we can really see there's a widespread area that has a marginal risk stretching through parts of the Minneapolis area to just into the Jacksonville area, stretching to parts of the Indianapolis and all the way to the Albuquerque area in New Mexico. But the area we really need to check out is a slight chance, as we're going to have a lot of bands into many areas into the United States. It's going to stretch all the way to parts of the northern plains, to parts of the southeast, including the Atlanta area, all the way to the to the Omaha, actually right to the Omaha area, and it's going to bring in some very heavy rain through parts of the southern plains all the way to Georgia and the southeast area. We'll really have some very strong bands in that slight chance. Tornadoes aren't a huge threat in that slight chance there. And this is where we have the bullseye for today, the enhanced risk. So we're not going to get to a moderate or a high. So we can only probably get up to maybe quarter-sized hail or a bit bigger, but not going to be a huge threat for baseball-sized hail or anything. So the enhanced risk will stretch from that little panhandle area of Texas right there, just into the northern part, going to the Wichita area of Kansas, stretching through the Oklahoma City area and near the Norman area. So this is where we can have the worst of it today. We could have some isolated tornadoes, and yeah, so that's what that forecast is looking for today. As you can see, it says severe weather forecast for today. So guys, we're quickly going to be taking a look now at the National Weather Service to see what we have right now based on active alerts. So these are not any severe weather, that's just heat advisories. This is where we have right now the active alerts for the storm. So in this dark brown color with the red kind of mixed into it, those are flash flood warnings in effect for just a couple miles away from the that St. Louis area. And then the dark green, we do have flood watches, so that's where we had a lot of rain the past couple days, and we'll have more stretching to that area. I would not be surprised if we have some tornado watches going on later tonight or today. And like I said, guys, these storms are not beginning like right now as we speak. They will go in the next 2 hours or so, so that's why we don't have these severe thunderstorm watches or warnings. And then in the bright green here, we do have we do have a flood warning for the central part of Kansas, but that's what we have right now. Not a lot of big advisories based on severe weather, only some flood watches and advisories. So now we're going to be taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. So I did not make a forecast for tomorrow's because I did not want this video to come out super duper late. So we actually do have a very good chance of having some severe weather in the same exact areas, or not the same exact, but in the same areas, or kind of in the same areas of today. So we have enhanced risk for the Oklahoma City area, the Tulsa, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Lawton, Oklahoma. So that's where we do have some very strong storms, and that's going to cover of a population of about 4 million. So a lot of people are going to be in that area for possible very strong storms. And then we have a slight chance that does shrink a lot. It's not going to be in the southeast, but it's not going to be in the upper plains. It's going to be in general in the Ozarks and the southern plains. So we're going to have a population of about 18 million people in there, from the Dallas area all the way to the Kansas City, Missouri area. So we do have quite a widespread area based on that, and then we do have a marginal risk that does go around much of the eastern part and the central part of the United States. So it goes through San Antonio and stretches all the way to the Atlanta, Georgia area, to the Indianapolis area. So we do have quite a widespread area of some severe weather. So we do have a summary of severe storms are likely across the parts of the southern plains on Sunday with damaging wind, hail, and few tornadoes. So now if we go to the radar, so this is going to be for the more of the plains area, kind of. So it's going to be more for the plains and parts of the Ohio valleys. As you can see, this radar does have a specific area. So, and sorry guys if you guys do hear some noise. I'm in the middle of the house, so we do have some very strong bands start to form in the next 2 hours in that southeastern part there of Iowa and just in the western border of Illinois. And these are not going to get any better. As you can see, if we go on, they do split into many bands. We have one band there, another band there, and then another band right here. So we do have very good amount of bands in one little area in this Illinois, in the Ozarks. We're going to have very severe weather for the more to the southern part of Illinois. As you can see, we're really going to have these very strong bands. So don't worry if you're in Chicago or anything, not a big deal. And then we're going to have these very strong bands stretching to the border with Kentucky. So we're going to have Louisville in there. We're going to have a lot of areas in that small place. So then as we go later on to the afternoon hours, we're going to have very strong bands stretching from the Jefferson City area from Missouri all the way to the southern tip of Illinois. Again, these bands could go ahead of time and hit more into the central part of Kentucky. So that's what we're looking at there. And then these storms can go into the near that Mississippi River area, affecting the border of Kentucky and Missouri. And then these storms can be going on. And once that goes away, we can have another band possible that can go into parts of the Iowa area, into the southwestern part. We can really have some strong bands there, and that's not going to get any better too. So like I said, it's going to be a multi-day threat. So if you're worried about today, you might want to worry about a little bit tomorrow too, as we're going to have some strong bands moving to these around the same areas. So if you guys got hit by a tornado, you guys need to watch out, as there are going to be more strong bands coming in. We're not going to have a tremendous tornado threat today. It's looking like we can have a good threat tomorrow, though. So, guys, now we're going to be taking a look at the south central. So this is going to be more of a later today threat. As you can see, these bands do connect all the way from the Iowa area to the panhandle of Texas. So we do have around a 700-mile band. You see, they really do connect right here. So we're going to have a wall cloud. You can really see the wall cloud here. With the wall clouds in the radar, you can really tell when you have the worst of the band in the beginning, unlike you usually see the worst of the band in the central part of the storm, but in this case they will be in the beginning, so you can really tell. That's why we have the wall cloud formation, in that it's a kind of a curved cloud if you think about it. And then we go closer into the tomorrow hours. When you start to wake up, we can really have some very strong storms into the northeastern part of Oklahoma. And then very strong bands are going to be heading towards the direction of the Dallas area. So if you're in Dallas, you're really going to have some strong storms there. It's going to slightly go a bit. It's going to be a bit less weaker, slightly though. And then we can have these scattered rain showers. And then we're going to have these low pressure systems form again, which will bring another severe weather threat for the early week. And then this can actually affect the Shreveport, Louisiana area, affect the Austin, Texas area, and eventually affect parts of the Houston area with some scattered rain showers. Last radar we're going to be taking a look at is the southeast, because we can actually have, again, we're going to have a lot of areas, a lot of grounds being covered here with some severe weather. So we're going to have some strong bands, actually with a high pressure system, quite rare there. We're going to have some very strong storms into the Appalachian Mountains in northern Georgia. If you live near that Dahlonega area, you can have some strong bands there. Won't be surprised if you have some tornado watches there. Not really rare to see that in Georgia. And then we're going to have two bands moving to the south. One's going to be affecting that Huntsville, Alabama area. One's going to be hitting that Atlanta area and Clemson. And then we're going to have another band that's going to be more into the Mississippi River area, going to be affecting the Memphis, Tennessee area, and the more into the northern part of Little Rock area. It's a bit more upstate there. And then these storms are going to possibly affect the southern coast of South Carolina and eventually these storms eventually will die down, and we're just going to have these strong storms just at the west or the southeast and that south central. So those are the radars. The last thing we're going to be looking at today is the CAPE values, which is also joules per kilogram. So we're going to be taking a look at this. And again, for those who are new viewers or don't know what this is, what this CAPE is the amount of energy in a storm, or like the celled storms. So we're going to move this just for you guys can see. So the higher the number, which will mean like the darker it gets, that means the more energy behind these storms, or not only in storms, but also in an area where they can eventually form storms with this high energy. It's not always going to be where these storms are at. It can actually be, as you can see, we're going to have some high numbers where these storms aren't even forming today or very soon. So you can see it's going to be just going to have a lot of energy in the south central area, which is going to develop these low pressure systems. So now that we talked about that, we're going to be showing the numbers. So in the Shreveport area, we do have 3,700 joules per kilogram. And then more to the Wichita area, we actually do have 4,500 joules per kilogram. That's actually quite a lot of energy, but a lot less than yesterday. If we go to 5 p.m. now, that's where we actually had those very strong numbers. 5,000 joules per kilogram, 5,600. That is a lot of energy to produce some multi-celled storms there. That's where we can really have some very strong thunderstorms, especially with these overday heatings. That's really going to make these storms come in at 11 o'clock tonight. So when most of the people here are sleeping, it's actually going to be 10 o'clock in the south central, because this is Eastern time, but in the central part of the United States, it will be 10 o'clock. So in San Antonio, we have 4,500 joules per kilogram. Not going to be extremely high numbers. So now we're going to go to actually tomorrow now, because that's again where we actually had that pretty good amount of tornado threat there. So if we go into tomorrow at 11 a.m., people are starting just to wake up since it's 10 a.m. here in central part of the United States. We do have 4,700 joules per kilogram in that Oklahoma City area, and then we're going to have a band of we do have a band right here stretching to that Panhandle, Texas, to that southern part of Oklahoma. That's where we do have that band of strong CAPE, and then we're just going to have another band here. You can really see it there. We're going to actually have, if you guys don't know, we can actually have bands with these. You can just see, not like physically bands, but we're going to have these bands of these high numbers there. So then we can have a bit more higher numbers moving to the south of the Atlanta area. We actually do have some 4,000s. Don't really see that in Georgia or the southeast. You do see in the Louisiana, in the Mississippi area, but not in that Georgia and the Carolinas area. So we do go more to 8 p.m. now. 8 p.m. for tomorrow, we do have very high numbers for the central part of Texas. Just north of the Austin area, we do have 4,500, 4,600. And then as we go more into 11 p.m. tomorrow, these numbers do die down a bit. They're not going to be extremely high, but they are a bit better as we go more to Monday. So guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed this update. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, and see you guys in the next video.